And today, our special guest is Kelly Byrne. Kelly Byrne, wave your hand, Kelly, so everybody can kind of see where you're at. Kelly is the Director of Marketing at I&M Group, marketing group based in the Dallas area. Branded solutions agency. She first discovered promo, get this, as president of the marketing club during grad school. How many people actually have that on there? Most people had no intention whatsoever in getting to marketing, but Kelly has been doing it as a professional career her entire life there. After graduating, she accepted a position with a distributor in Kansas City and then eventually moved on to Dallas and I&M Marketing Group. They're doing some amazing things, and that's what we're going to jump right into today. Feel free to throw in the chat any questions you have for Kelly. And the way the format's going to work today is we have about a 20-minute interview. Then we're going to have break up into groups that are going to be about 20 minutes long. And each group will have, depends, 3-6 people or so. In the group, the purpose is for you to share a tip or an idea or some inspiration for others so that we can all learn while we're here making the most out of our time together. But again, Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate you, the intro.
Jumping right into it, I want to start with this really cool campaign that you guys just did. I think in the end of fourth quarter, right? Or at the end of fourth quarter, was this the Pantone Campaign? Tell us a little bit about that. And do you have a show and tell, or and if not, that's okay.
I do.
Great. All right. Cool.
Oh,
well,
I
tell
do.
Tell
for
us
this
about
specific
it.
campaign.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't know how many of you out there, we always kind of look for the Pantone colors of the year, and they come out with a variety of different colors throughout the year, you know, whether it's retail based fall inspiration or spring colors, but they always come out with one at the end of the year. And we were kind of anxiously awaiting because, you know, in 2020, we got really excited about that kind of stuff, like, oh, what's coming in 2021? So once they announced it, I think it was the beginning of December, it came out, and it was 2 colors. And so we were kind of fascinated by that because they don't do that very often. They've been doing this for about 20 years. And so we kind of the whole team kind of brainstormed together and said, you know what, we really need to do something like this and showcase how we can do a branded campaign using something like the Pantone colors of the year, and how it kind of is an educational component to it, where what is this trend and how can you use it with your branding? So to start, we decided to, we have this, and again, Bobby, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but subtle branding, it looks a little subtle. It's not our full logo. It's just a ghost imprint of our logo, but we took the colors, we incorporated it into a custom box, and then the contents inside with a message on the box. Now, my boss came up with this because he's much more brave than I am, and he says, yes, there are 2 colors this year. Apparently 2020 sucks so bad, Pantone decided to double down on how awesome 2021 is going to be. And so we just took the colors and we created a campaign. This is a stock bottle from ETS, and it has a gray imprint on it. Now, we did a completely custom graphic from Numo. It's got texture, if you can kind of see that. But we utilized their colors, accent colors, and we just created this kit. Now, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from that, a response from that, people actually wanting the product themselves for their own branding. But we send those to some of our top growth accounts because it's kind of like a inspirational tool. It's basically talking about how it's got the story on the inside, because right now the messaging is key, and the message being, what can you do with this? So these are the colors of the year, and what can you do with it to make your brand more exciting? So Kelly, we got a lot of feedback on it.
So let's pan back a little bit, since we're here to talk about marketing. And I wanted to start with this campaign because we're obviously a very visual business. Where does self-promo fit in your marketing arsenal and your marketing agenda? You mentioned that this was sent to top accounts. So the objective here is to grow existing clients. Do you send those to business development customers too? How does self-promo fit in your entire sphere of marketing?
You know, we do it differently. We have different aspects of it. We've got current kits that we've developed specifically for prospecting, and those are kind of a lower budget kit, but something that's meant to wow and kind of form. One of them had our new website design on the front, and it had some merchandise on the inside, like a journal with a cool graphic and an iridescent mug that kind of fit with the trend for a couple of years ago. But it all depends on how they're being used.
Is this
We
quarterly?
have
Are
a
you
new
doing this
client
quarterly?
kit. Oh, we do. We try to do it quarterly.
Okay.
Just one branded kit quarterly because it's kind of within the budget. The budget range is usually from just about $600 to $1,000 per kit.
You say 600 to 1,000 per kit?
Yeah,
Okay.
about. I mean, I would say sometimes it's smaller.
Is this retail costs, net cost? What are you, what's that number?
Oh,
Obviously
this is
retail, right?
net.
Or net,
That's
okay. And so this is obviously top accounts.
yeah.
How many kits are you kind of doing when you do this every quarter?
We do about 30. We've kind of segmented our clients. It's based on kind of a marketing touches as well. We have like an A list, you know, a B list, and then a C list, and then a drip campaign list that, you know, we touch periodically with smaller campaigns.
Okay.
So it varies.
How much does self-promo comprise your marketing budget overall? Maybe this is a hard number to get at, but if you had, I'm saying big if, everybody would like this, if you had $100,000 marketing budget a year, is the self-promo comprise 50% of it, 75%, 30%?
The self-promo and
I
the
would
mailing.
say, I mean,
You got to include the postage and the delivery costs too, because that's a big factor these days. So I would say the big portion for me, it would be.
yeah, you definitely do have to keep that in mind. And that's something that separating it out to 36 of our top growth accounts, it's basically those clients that we have measured and we have realized the potential of growth for the next year, whether we see their strengths at the end of the year and we kind of build on that. We know what their capabilities are. We know their spread. We know how they react to certain campaigns in the past. So we kind of keep those top of mind.
So Kelly, we'll take audience questions here in just a minute, by the way. Kelly, one of the things that you said to me, and I think this is such a 401 tip, like I would never have thought of this, but you said to me that message is more important than brand. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
It's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here for
It is.
brands, but
Right.
part of that is, you know, when you brand something, your logo has to be tied to a message, right? And the message that you convey with your brand, it's almost like when you look at a Coca-Cola bottle or their logo, what's that feeling that gives you? When you look at other brands with, you know, not so positive messages that are tied to them, then it's an instant engagement right there is, you know, what is your brand trying to say? So the messaging is critical. And I mean, think 2020 last year was really big with messaging over branding, I think, because people needed that feel good. It was that emotional engagement that they needed so desperately. So that's where the messaging all came in more than the branding. Now, the branding's still important, but it's just a matter of mashing it up with the proper message that you want your brand to be associated with.
Obviously, we're following more subtle cues, but you know, dropping a kit to someone with your logo in one color spot on every piece is not imaginative nor compelling. So this is how you've taken either colors, tones, and this is why we talked about this. Does your marketing make sense? Do you go through a filter like touch, you know, all the different senses? Do you think through that as you're building a campaign?
I personally do it a little bit subconsciously. I don't realize that I'm doing it really, but like when you think about music, you know, one of my favorite Spotify playlists is Coffee House. Like it was last year during COVID, you know, during all of our quarantine where everybody was staying at home, and I created a playlist for just coffee shop sounds because when I'm in a creative mindset, it helps. I can't have words because I'll want to sing with it, but I have to have that music going and it helps generate my creativity. Now there's different music for different feelings, but the same goes for sight. I mean, when you see sight, sometimes, I mean, I remember Inbound 2019, I've only been there once, but I went there and the big giveaway item that people were going crazy about was those light up glasses. And my boss and I looked at each other and we're like, those have been around for so long, but it's the light up. It's like a dance floor on your face. I don't know. It's like a dance floor. It's all these lights and everything generate some kind of excitement. And it's every single thing about it, like the smells. You've got the essential oils that are going crazy right now because people need that for sense of wellness. But I really think that oh gosh, Aaron, I just read your message. Good tagline. It's a dance floor for your face. I wish you could edit that one out, Bobby.
Kelly, something you said to me that I thought was really helpful is that this is not just an advertising dump when you're doing campaigns. You're actually training your customer. So, and I know many of us here do this. We train our customers, but every kit we should send out has all kinds of purposes, not just one purpose. And you said something about you using it each time to train your customers. Can you give me an example of how you guys have used it to train a customer?
I'm trying to think. Did you put this up? This is one thing that, hang on, I'm getting my little, okay, this is a concept we come up with. Kind of, it's really hard to get your clients to think outside of the box. Sometimes even we get stuck in a rut. Sometimes we think, oh, that's not gonna work. This is pitched out for a project, but it's not gonna work. But I'm a true believer that you can make anything work in any way possible. You can't just discard anything. You've got to take it and say, okay, hang on, how can that work here? Because it's not fair to just kind of dismiss things randomly because you don't see the vision. But that's what our clients do as well. So this is a box that we just came up with, and we kind of developed this around, we created sketched promo icons. I had one of my graphic designers that I worked with in Kansas City sketch these by hand. And we took this concept and we did a couple of promos with it. You've got the tumbler from Sweden that has the tonal graphics. That's taken it to trends where it's kind of a mixed media with the laser engrave on it. And then you take that, and this is our new concept. That design was made like a couple of years ago, but this is we're going to do hat samples. And this is the same graphic. I don't know if you can see it with my glare, but it's got tonal graphics and the hat is highlighted. And it's going to be a sample kit for us to send hats samples to clients. So it's every single connection that you make with them is giving them an idea. It's giving them, we talk about FOMO a lot, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to do that, in a different capacity, but it's basically getting that emotional engagement and FOMO, like, that's cool, I want that. And that's what our ultimate goal is, to send out something that our clients, that wow them. I didn't think of that. That's something that I could use. And so that's the purpose for every promo that we do.
I think a sort of a 101 lesson, you could almost call it a failure. If all you do with your marketing self-promo, for example, is send it out to customers and you've trained them to go, how much is that mug? Then I think that's a fail in a big sense, because the bigger sale is them getting that kit and them going, how can we build something this spectacular for our prospects, for our clients? So they kind of move from that commodity type product focus to purpose-driven marketing. Is that what you meant by training?
Yes, absolutely, because that's one of our things on our homepage, on our website, and that's something that we push a lot, is we are not commodity driven. If you want a commodity item, you can go anywhere and get that. We want to set ourselves apart by providing a creative solution, whether it's a collection or just setting us apart from that other, anyone else that can just drop a logo on this mug. We want to make it different.
We've got a room full of merchandising pros here, so we'll get off of self-promo and get into some of the other things you're doing digitally. You just started a vlog, so you're doing video interviews, I noticed, with suppliers. That's new territory for you. What else are you doing? You got a beautiful blog on your website as well. What tactics are you using in your digital marketing that you have found to be the most effective lately?
I will say the vlogging is new, and we've actually gotten a couple of clients involved. We do have one that's coming soon that I have interviewed, that works for the American Heart Association, and she talks about safety and getting back out there post-COVID and how to be certified in event training or event management at post-COVID or post-pandemic. So we're trying to expand that even outside of just suppliers. But at the same time, digitally, the blog is comprised of a collection of my colleagues and I just brainstorming together. We get together and come up with plans, like our business development team comes up with, hey, I really have a need for this campaign, whether it's virtual events from last year. How do you go about doing virtual events? Or what are online stores? What are our options for online stores? Where we talked about shops, every type of pop-up shop for common SKU, marketing shops, but we educate them. And it's usually a lot of the stuff that I do is filler, educational, kind of fun stuff that I see, but then you get the BD involved, and she's trying to work with, the director of BD is trying to work with clients on their needs that she sees out there. And most of that is driven by the clients and programs, and how can you take programs to another level. And so we have campaigns out there on our blog that educate on how to do that. The next one that we have is strategic sending, where we talk about educating them and making it seamless for them as well.
What did you mean by that? You had a unique way of marketing your shops, and you talked about strategic sending. What do you mean?
Strategic sending is something that it's next on our list to talk about, but it's basically intention behind everything that you do. Every direct mail piece that our clients do, there should be some sort of intent behind it. And so what we're doing as a team is we're going to have a campaign on our blog and on social where we educate them on the steps that are, that it takes to come to that. And there's different, trying to think of the, I think it's like sales and marketing, client appreciation, and employee recognition. Those are 3 critical components that our clients need right now. And so what we're doing with the shops, we're going to build one shop that's going to have different tabs for each one of those, and we're going to curate our own custom kits that speak to that, each one of those categories within different price ranges. So it allows a seamless ordering process for our clients to be able to say, okay, I don't like that one, I don't like that one, okay, I like that one. And they can order it there, or they can customize it in some way. But it's basically trying to streamline and educate, but also sell to the clients at the same time.
We had a question
making
about
their strategic sending campaigns intentional. Sorry.
Okay, no. We had a question about using spec samples with self-promo. How does spec samples fit in your overall marketing and sales plan? Is that business development thing, sales? How does that equate? And do you do with your marketing kits? Is it always your brand, or are you doing spec kits for clients as well?
We do both. Okay. Typically BD will do the spec kits for clients. Those went really well. We have some of our favorite suppliers that partner with us, and we do creative custom boxes that are specific to that client, each client. And then those are kind of a BD project, but me on a whole from self promo, we all kind of collaborate on a message for custom kits for our own self promo. We have a welcome back kit that's coming soon, and it's to help educate them on, hey, we've missed you, but here's something that you can do with your team. We've got a new client kit for those that come on board, and it's kind of an executive level box that says welcome to the club, and on the inside you've got some kind of higher end premium items, but different levels.
You know what I love what you're doing, and everybody a lot of you are already doing this, but I love this. You've got a rhythm to your quarterly kits. You've got new prospect kits. These are things a lot of times what happens with our marketing as distributors is we're so busy putting out the next fire that we go, when things slow down, I'm going to focus on my marketing. And it's the worst thing that can happen to you. Suddenly you hit that slow point and you start to think about your marketing. Hopefully for you in 60 days, what happens is you're slammed again. And what I've seen is this anemic marketing done in our business, largely because they don't have a rhythm or they don't have this strategy or purpose. We got one more question from some guy named Mark Graham, who said, I'm curious if COVID forced you to change your approach to self promo and marketing in general. Did you get like sharper, smarter because of COVID, because you couldn't go out and see clients? What changed?
I really don't think that we did. And now I'm not in sales, I'm not in BD, but we work closely together. So it's kind of, we just had this momentum going into 2020. And we just kind of carried it on through. I will say, I remember the pivotal moment for us in March when everything just shut down and we were trying to figure out a way to engage. We came up with an idea to do a virtual variety hour, happy hour. I don't know if you've seen it, but I was on the back end producing this video that we did. It was a live broadcast, and Zach was the intro. He's the president of our company, and we had suppliers that partnered with us. There were 5 suppliers that came on, and it was so much fun, and it had a retro vibe to it. But that's where we really got into. That was when we did our first self-promo virtual campaign, if you will, and we sent a kit out to anybody that registered, got this kit, and it had a pop promo happy hour a vinyl bag with our logo on it. I think it had a t-shirt in it with that same, all the alcohol on the pocket print. It had a mint julep glass, and it had a recipe book for cocktails. And that's what we sent to all of our happy hour guests that registered for the event. And it was so much fun, but it was a learning experience for us. We got so much positive feedback from the products that were sent. We partnered with our suppliers, and also just from the event itself, because it was an educational component in a time when nobody could see each other. And so we got forced into it really quick and jumped in.
Thanks, Kelly. We're